Okay, we got time for one more.
One more.
4 goals in 3 preseason games. Is it too early to worry about offense? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm not that worried. I mean, on the other side, we've been pretty decent defensively. So, there's always you always look at the positive is that we what I thought in the first game we were really porous defensively. In the last 2 games we've been good defensively. Obviously, we got so it's a work in progress. The offensive part is a little bit of work in progress still. Obviously, special teams, that's obviously a big work in progress. I think, we went into camp and quite frankly, I've said this to you guys, the first 3 games were just evaluation. Wasn't a lot of coaching in terms of matchups and all that. And everybody played against everybody and for the most part. So, from a defensive standpoint, we came a long way. I think our goaltending with Pex is probably a little bit ahead of where he was in previous years. And Lindback and Dekanich and Pickard are good young guys coming on there. So I'm really happy with that. I believe we have good depth on some of our forward lines. We got to create a little more offense. The one thing that I do notice is that our veteran guys are rusty. I mean, they really are rusty. They need some games here. So, like even Webbs tonight played his first game. Lombardi played his first game. Sully played his first game. They're not ready for the season right now. So we've got the next 3 games that you're going to see more of our veteran lineup. And from that standpoint, we've only got 3 games from now till October 9th. That's it. So we have a long. We play Washington our last game on the 3rd, and we don't start for another week. So that's hard to stay sharp for that week. So we've got lots of work in a lot of areas of our game. But our 5-on-5 in terms of the overall defensive game is there. We've got a little bit of structured base in there. But we really haven't, we haven't put units together. We're still trying things. I mean, we put Wilson in the middle tonight, which, he's played the whole preseason on the wing. So we're sort of done experimenting, and we have to sort of go from there. So we've had our evaluation process, and now it's not that it wasn't real business, but what we wanted to accomplish in terms of evaluation, it's we're going to have to make some hard decisions, and they're going to be the decisions that we have to make for the now. They might not necessarily be the right decision sometimes for the now, because some guys have played pretty well. Some guys have maybe haven't got their game under them, but they have a little bit of a history, so you might give them the edge based on having a history and knowing that hopefully they'll get their game in. But some of the young guys are really pushing from the backside first to some of the veteran guys in some of the spots. So, I think.
Have you done more of that evaluating than this year than in previous camps?
Yeah, because I think there's it's probably because there's more battles. There's more battles for that 6 through 10 spot, and there's more battles for some of the skill positions, top 9 forwards versus maybe some of the more role players, and then you're looking at guys that you haven't seen before, like young Halistruck, who got our goal today. He's had a really good camp. I mean, he's a guy that's pushing for a spot. So there's some really good things that happen, but you're putting guys in different roles and just letting them play, see if they can grab a role or not. So that's the important part of the evaluation. At the same time, we're trying to put some foundations in, and obviously that it's just like anything, when you put the foundation in, you need some time to cure, and we really haven't had any time to cure it. So I'm not worried about the power play, or I'm not worried about our 5-on-5 play. I'm not really worried about a whole lot right now. As we get a little closer here, when I have a veteran lineup, I mean, with our full defense in there, you can. The game changes, our speed changes, that type of thing. So you look in the 2 home games we played, 1 or 2 veteran players, meaning our top 5, and the other 4 were fighting for that 6 through 10 spot, if you will. So it makes a big difference in our game.
Barry, you said the power play is a big work in progress. What kind of work
Or are you
Well, there's instinctively we've been trying to reorganize in terms of making sure that we've got some net presence, and we've got some foundations of what we're trying to do. And a couple times we're talking about some of the support issues that we have. Guys are standing there, and then it's almost, you can see, oh, I'm not supposed to be here, I should move into this, but by that time it's too late. It's not coming instinctively. And our execution is poor on the breakouts right now. Guys don't have proper routes, but they haven't been units together. I mean, every unit that we've had has been just a makeshift unit to this point. Everybody in our organization, I think, knows the foundation of what we want to accomplish, but you need the reps. It's no different than I always go back to the football analogy, because but you need the reps, you need the time, and you need that. And so, in all fairness to everybody who's been on the power play and our group, it's not something that's fair to them as well, because they're using different groups all the time. So there's no, like we could have had one goal. Lombardi had an empty net, and we score there. It sort of breaks the bubble, but we didn't, and that's part of the execution thing.
You had Hornquist and Kostitsyn together Thursday, and you put them back together tonight. Do you like what you saw Thursday, or do you want to see some more tonight?
What I want to do is I want to put, you want to put players, like Kostitsyn, his bread and butter is going to be the ability to play and make the biggest difference probably on an offensive side by being able to make plays and be able to have patience. And like tonight, I didn't like our patience on the power play. We would get the zone, and we would have a chance to set up, and we just throw it away. And that's the poise factor that you need, and we didn't have that tonight. And that's where Sergei can come in. And I'm putting him with guys that veteran guys, and he started with Lombardi tonight and Hornquist, and that should be a pretty good line for us. But at the same time, I had a rusty guy in there in Lombardi. So there's always a factor of that, and we're not quite there, but we really have to get that going and get our group in. I thought our top four guys who have played one game, they looked rusty. I mean, I can go, Webb's looked a little rusty, Suits, Frankie, Kleiner, they didn't look themselves. So we got to get the rust off.
What about a guy like Halishuk? You mentioned him as pushing guys. What have you sort of seen out of him?
Oh, he's got great instinct. He's very similar to Nick Spaulding. They've got good detail to their game. They make good decisions. They battle hard. They're just good hockey players. And you see that, and when you see that, and they're producing. I mean, he's a guy that's been very productive on the penalty kill. He's been obviously he scored tonight. He's been a little more productive offensively. He's made good decisions. I mean, he doesn't make hope passes that some of the guys are making. They're making 90-foot hope passes that we could spring someone, and half of those times those are intercepted and are turnovers, and that just takes away all your transition. It takes any push that you have, and it may look cute, but it's not effective in this game. And some of the guys tried to do that, and that's just not how you play.
And Wilson at center, you mentioned moving back.
Yeah, I moved him in there. I need more from the little bit of center ice, and what it does is when you put Wilson there, it moves some people up in terms of your lineup and see how they can do it a higher role. So it changes dynamics, and he looked rusty in the middle too. So from that standpoint, he's got to have a better game for us.
Re-signing some guys tonight is a fairly easy round of moves to make at this point.
Yeah, I think so. There's 12 guys for the most part. They're the younger guys. There's some good players in that group on defense and forward that are going to eventually play. But we felt it was very. At this point, we got to get them back and settled in Milwaukee. It doesn't mean that they're not going to play this year for us. It just means that there's other people in the pecking order that we need to see first, who have a history either in the league or have played well through camp.